I never thought I'd get this far. By Vampire Sutan. Summary. When her crush on Adriend only leads to pain, Luka is there to pick up the pieces. Category: Miraculous fanfiction. Relationships: Adriend Agrest, ex Marinette Dupinching, one-sided. Luka Kofin, ex Marinette Dupinching. Additional tags: Hanahaki disease, one-sided attraction, one-sided Adriend Agrest, Chat Noir, ex Marinette Dupinching, Ladybug, unrequited crush, Alia Cezia Salt. Mari. What is that? Luka asks hesitantly as a delicate white rose petal flower flutters from her lips to the table, and he prays that he's wrong. Marinette worries her lip as she thinks something over before sighing in defeat. A flower petal? As usual, when it came to the girl's well-being, it seemed his prayers were going to be ignored. Marinette. Please tell me I'm misunderstanding and there's an Akuma nearby. Marinette just gives him a small, sad smile. That would be easier, wouldn't it? But no, it's what you think. The first one was a few days ago, but I was outside, so I tried to brush it off, but... She gestures at the offending petal. Yeah. Luka frowns, picking the petal up hesitantly, and is grateful to at least not see any blood. It's not too far, at least. Adriend? As always, she sighs, slumping against the table now. I thought I was finally over him, or almost over him at least, but it's like I'm not allowed to, no matter how I try. Something or someone keeps pushing me at him. A defeated sigh now, and a little pout. Do you think if I collect the petals and shove them in their face, they'll let me heal without having to lose my ability to love altogether? Luka's frown deepens as he fidgets with the petal in thought. Julika and Marinette have both told him about the schemes, and even Julika's started voicing her discomfort to him. But it seems to be the only way to Adriend to maintain friends with the class, as upsetting as it is. How Adriend can still be oblivious to the designer's feelings with all the insanity is still a mystery to him, but it seems to be one-sided as always if she starts coughing up flowers. It should have never gotten to this point to begin with. He finally sighs, not one to outwardly say anything bad about the girls Marinette and his sister consider friends. But he's getting really close. But I would hope your actual health will make them finally back off. His disdain must make it into his voice because Marinette raises an amused eyebrow before another cough dislodges more petals and she groans. I'll tell them Monday. Mari. You've met Alia? She cuts him off with a sad smile. I'm going to need evidence, and with my luck, no petals will happen when I need them. This will give me a few days to collect them. Or a few days to suffocate on them. He frowns, not liking this idea. If they lodge in your throat when what if they lodge in your throat when you're sleeping? Luka watches her eyes glance at her bag and knows he won't get an answer if he tries to ask, so doesn't. I'm sure I'll be fine, she assures him with a knowing smile, but when his face remains concerned, she sighs. I'll stay on the phone so you can hear if anything goes wrong. Luka still doesn't like it, but nods. I'll take it. Let me know if you need backup with your friends. I hope I don't, but thank you. She smiles. Her smile is more genuine, now even as she places the pedal to the side. Now, what's been going on with you? This is over text. Jules. I know you wanted to let her make her own decisions, but it's time to step up and win her over. Jules. In other words, stop being a coward. Luka, what are you talking about? Luka, what happened? Luka, is Mari okay? Jules. Both she and Alia almost got akumatized for two very different reasons, and I convinced Rose to play scary guard dog while I help Mari breathe again. She has Hanahaki. Save her, you stupidly lovesick idiot. Where are you? Is she okay? Are you okay? Is anyone with Alia to make sure she doesn't get akumatized? The last thing Mari needs right now is a misplaced guilt. And I know about the flowers. I wanted her to say something sooner, but she knew Alia would demand proof. Knew. Jules. Well, she was unfortunately right, and I'm letting none of them hear her until they can stop trying to defend Alia's delusions. Rose is love crazy, but even she can't see we've gone too far. Jules. Stupid question. Do you have your guitar? Luka. Always. Call from Jules. Luka doesn't hesitate to answer the call, and is immediately met with a wheezing sob. Marinette? Melody, are you okay? Luka asks softly, not wanting to startle her. Luka, she hiccups, wheezing brokenly. Hurts. She was supposed to be my friend. And she was doing a horrible job on her end, he mutters, hoping Marinette doesn't hear him, as he pulls his guitar into his lap. Do you want me to play until you calm down? Please, she sniffs, mumbling something to probably Julika before blowing her nose. Your music always makes me feel better. Luka doesn't hesitate to start playing the heart song he's hearing, listening carefully so he can start shifting to what it's supposed to sound like. Anything specific? No, she hums, already sounding better. You always know what to play, and I know you say you're not, but you're pretty good at words too. Luka just smiles, humming lightly to what he's playing. After a while, the wheezing starts to settle, and he sighs in relief. Jules, you still there? Yeah, I left her with Rose to get her water, but I'm back. Julika explains before a bottle cracks open. She looks exhausted. Can you help her home? Luka asks, the song shifting to more of a combination of Mari's heart song and his own. There's some whispering before Julika's voice returns. She doesn't want to be alone. I'll meet you 3 at hers, he decides, already standing. She needs rest, not to run around Paris. More whispering before Marinette's tired voice returns. Thank you, Luka. After hanging up, Luka's not sure he's ever biked that fast, and can't help but fidget with the strap of his guitar case, as Marinette's parents dote and try to get information out of him. Eventually, he sighs, interrupting when he hears more coughing. Sir, ma'am, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but none of these questions are my place to answer, and I promised Marinette I'd go to her, so can I please get past you? He doesn't actually give them a chance to answer, using their shock to dash around them and up to the attic stairs, until he can sigh in relief when a head of bluish hair peeks out from the blanket mound as Marinette smiles at him. Sorry, she whispers, voice probably fired from coughing. They can be a lot. They're just worried. He brushes off, crossing the room in big strides to pull her into as tight of a hug as the blankets will allow. Can't say I blame them. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. My Melody. I should have insisted on being there. I insisted on doing it alone. Marinette sighs, melting against him. I didn't think it would be that bad. I'm sorry I didn't say something sooner, Julika mumbles, from Marinette's desk chair where Rose is sniffling in her lap. I know you already said it's okay, but the plans had been making me uncomfortable for a while, too. We should have never pushed you, Rose hiccups, blowing her nose into a tissue. We thought you were just giving up because of Lila. We should have listened. Luka bristles at the mention of Lila. Because of that liar? She could die or lose the ability to love because none of you can. Luka. Marinette sighs, easily distracting him by sneaking a hand out of the blankets to tug him onto the chase. We already talked while you were breaking pedestrian bike laws. Don't be too mad at them. Luka frowns, but allows himself to be pulled so he can let the mound of blankets containing his crush on top of him, and smiles when he feels her melt on top of him. He glances back at the girls. Sorry. Rose perks up, her love senses going off, but Julika thankfully manages to get a hand over her mouth before she can say something, and Luka looks at her in gratitude. We deserve it, Luka mumbles against her pouting girlfriend's shoulder. Focus on making Marinette feel better. I already removed us from the group chat so they can't bother us, or you two if you'd prefer we leave. Luka lifts a blanket to look at Marinette. You want them to stay? Marinette looks guilty as she bites her lip in worry. They're already here. That's all the answer I need. Julika decides, standing up and settling Rose on her feet before pulling her along the stairs. Text if you need anything. Thank you. Marinette sighs, sounding as grateful as she does exhausted. Want me to see if Luka can stay so you guys don't have to move much? She asks before her head can disappear down the steps. Marinette looks at Luka pleadingly, who just smiles and nods before she turns her still mostly covered head in the direction of the steps. Please? 1 sec. Julika nods before going down the rest of the stairs. She reappears a second later. He has to stay on the chase tonight, but they're apparently worried enough that he can stay the night. I'll let Mom know. Thank you. Marinette smiles at the same time Luka calls, Thanks, Jules. That's how they end up cuddling until dinner, Luka occasionally readjusting to play for her when a coughing fit leaves her struggling to breathe. They're both thankful when Marinette's mom just calls Luka down to retrieve plates and accept what little information Marinette gave him to release. By the time they're done eating, Marinette is struggling to keep her eyes open, so Luka helps her up her ladder to bed. He thinks she mumbles a thanks as he makes himself comfortable on the chase, but he's not going to bother her about it. smiling softly instead. "Good night, Melody." The lack of response tells him she's already asleep, and once comfortable, he's not far behind. "Luka!" Marinette grins as he meets her outside the bakery to walk her to the boat. "There are no more petals! They finally cleared up." Luka doesn't hesitate to pull her close, hugging her tight in his relief. "That's wonderful, Marinette." "Mm-hmm," she hums, hugging him back, somehow tighter despite her smaller size. "Thank you, Luka." He pulls back enough for her to see his confusion. Sure, he had dragged her to the doctor and had been more open about his affections, but he doesn't think he had done anything special. What for? "Everything." She smiles at him. "The night when Alia's real-life fanfiction was more important than our friendship. The next morning, when I was still a wreck, walking me to school and being there with me while I talked to the others." She smiles. Her smile turns softer, and he hopes that he's not misinterpreting the fondness in her eyes that makes him blush slightly. "For being there whenever I needed you for being such a good friend." A slight blush dusts her cheeks as well, as she almost whispers the next part. "For curing my flowers." His eyes widen with the last part. "Marinette, what you told me after Silencer?" She continues, playing with his heady strings to avoid looking at him. "Do you still feel that way?" "I don't think I could ever stop," he answers without hesitation. "You became more extraordinary every day. Your melody never leaves my head, and I think it would be my turn to choke on flowers if it ever did." Marinette's cheeks darken in color, but she seems to steel herself before sighing. "Well, good thing we'll never have to find out. There's more than one way to cure Hanahaki after all." Luka tilts his head in confusion before his eyes widen in realization when she stands up on her tiptoes to kiss his cheek. He lets out his own embarrassed noise for once before he snaps out of it when Marinette giggles at his expression. His face melts into his usual smitten smile as he gently cups a cheek to kiss her properly, with both smiling into the kiss. He never thought he'd get this far, but if he can keep her smiling like that, he's more than happy he did. Notes. Hope you enjoyed. That is the end of Never Thought I'd Get This Far by Vampire Sudan. I apologize for not posting any videos for the past 2 weeks. It's been really hectic lately. Plus I don't really like making the cover art for the videos. That's the biggest problem that I've been having is artistic block. But other than that, I should have this and a few other videos up. I'm gonna try shooting for like 21 videos to make up for the last 2 weeks. If I don't make it to that, you know how it goes. This is the first Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction I did. Hope y'all liked it. I particularly like the Miraculous Ladybug fandom. They're very welcoming. I've been thinking about doing a Harry Potter one as well, but I don't really know how that would go over. Thank you for watching.